Welcome to the Fuel Only Podcast. My name is Shane Dunnigan here with the great Joey Glover. Joey, unlike usual, you are not to my right. We're connected with the power of the internet.
Yeah,
You're at your home.
I'm at home.
We're mic'd up.
Yeah, we got our setup. It's nice. I love it.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
and you know what's even more awesome, Joey?
I don't want to talk about it.
Is Kyle frickin' Larson.
Viva Larson.
What a guy.
I don't even know where to start.
What can you say about the 5 car?
I mean, he doesn't even give us anything. He doesn't give us anything to talk about this week.
No, pretty drama-free, Joey. You know what? But one of the two of us picked Larson in our picks. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, well, when you pick him every week, it's easy. No, I'm kidding. But no, it's just it was. I was going back through and looking at past races and dominations, and I think it was, I don't know, we talked about it, 181 laps that he led in that race out of 262. And I mean, it's just, I had people over again this weekend, and we'll get into that. I had a little
you had a little false alarm, you could say.
Yeah, a little fun. We'll get into that, but and we're all, we're drinking, we're having fun, but when you hear God, this race is boring, and God, this race is boring, and people are over, and we said it wasn't going to be Atlanta, and it wasn't going to be Daytona, and you knew it was going to be more, you were going to get the 3 wide, and I think we got 5 wide at one point on one of those restarts, but
in the middle, I remember that.
Yeah, but it was Larson doing Larson things, and I made a note. Dale Earnhardt, we're going to Phoenix next week, and he led 262 laps out of 312 at Phoenix in 1990, and I'm thinking, TV's horrible back then, so it's not, they're trying to put on a good show, and I mean that had to be horrible to watch. So,
well, I thought it was pretty great.
Yeah, of course you did. Chase, it's good for Hendrick. I mean, Hendrick, that's our guys. But it's hard. Chase needs to. I mean, he's got to call up Joe Gibbs, and he's got to say, "Hey, I need some stuff here because I can't do this anyway. I was the golden boy until Larson came here. You know what I mean? They got.
Yeah, I know this is a Larson. Change. I know this is a Larson. Enjoyment podcast, but Chase, where's the speed?
There, it's not. He ran constantly every time I was watching, and every time I looked, he was 8th through 10th, 11th, every single lap. And
I think on the broadcast they mentioned, like, if you're in the 48 of the 9 car, you got to be talking to your team, going, those 2 other guys are flying.
Yeah,
what happened?
Larson Bowman went from literally 8th to 1st in a turn, and Chase can't do anything.
Or Byron? You mean Byron?
Or what did I say?
Bowman. Yeah, Byron. That move by Byron was crazy. Did you watch the in-car on that?
Yes. And it literally, he went and then he cut in. It was like Shane in 08 again. I mean, I like to bring it back to that, but if I'm Bowman, I meant to say Bowman because I was going to bring Bowman up, you have to Chase at least is a little bit better, but Bowman, that car, I don't know. But yeah, Larson got lucky. I think Byron was faster. I mean, that he got swallowed up by that
garbage bag,
96-gallon garbage bag. And he's like, I'm overheating. Yeah, of course you're overheating.
I'll tell you what, as a Larson fan, somebody who picked Larson, when I saw that garbage bag on the hood pinned, I was thinking to myself, this is great.
I got a big text from Shane. Debris for Byron. And I'm
debris.
Like, no.
And that screwed Byron big time. He had to go pit, and he went a lap down.
Yeah, that was it.
Never really recovered.
Yeah, I'm thinking the only
but he got the free pass, so he stayed on the lead lap, but he never was back up. He never was back up front.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah, no, definitely. But it was I mean, how would you sum up that race? How would you, if you were not a NASCAR fan and someone said, "How was the race?" What would you say?
It would be like you'd watch a video of Lance Armstrong back when they used to do like the Tour de France.
2006 or something.
And and it's like, who he's going to be up front, and he's going to lead 89% of the race, and unless he crashes, he's going to win.
Yeah, you turn on Sports Center, it's stage winner, of course. You already know. But and I think.
But no, what's crazy about it though? Sorry to interrupt you.
No,
is it's not about the big runs for Larson at this track. or these intermediate tracks, he picks you off one guy at a time. Say he's third or fourth. He picks one car off.
And we
then he
said
gets on your bumper. Then he gets on your bumper.
Yes.
You want to go high, he'll go low. You want to go low, he'll go high.
No, we talked about what did I texted you, and when did they pit? I don't want to get into the recap yet, but whenever they pitted,
they took 3 sets of tires in stage 1, which remember we were talking about, are these guys going to run out of tires?
Yeah, they had a couple scuffs, but the last pit stop, I said, even if the pit crew were to screw up and he loses 4 or 5 spots, I had no doubt in my mind, 0% doubt that he was going to pick off each person and make it up. He might have had a little trouble with Reddick. Reddick was very fast.
We'll get into that.
But I had no doubt in my mind that he was winning that race, and even if they screwed up, he was going to come and pick you off. So it didn't matter.
Yeah, I feel like the only way you could get Larson is if you had a really good long run car, and the Toyotas had speed, but him with clean air.
Yeah,
it was over.
It was exactly. He only had issues behind someone, but then once he was running the high line a couple times, and
I saw him up on the wall. He got up on the wall a couple times. Yeah,
no, he was feeling it, and you could just tell, and it was good. It was fun. So, we had some fun here, and I don't know, you were at home, right? I mean, I was texting you.
Yeah. So tell everybody your story about your.
You obviously weren't watching with Rob.
No, Rob. I hit up Rob. I think he was on business or something, but I was watching by myself.
That's why it was boring.
Yeah, my wife has no interest in watching, so I was watching by myself with the dog, and just me and the 5 car.
Me
and a couple beers. Yeah,
you and the 5 car, just all the way home. But get into that real quick. So I think we're on lap 10 or 12, and I fill up the bar. I go to start the barbecue, and I left it on from last Sunday, barbecuing the last race. And we had a couple drinks.
Yeah, been there.
Yeah, so not paying attention. We had a drink, and a couple guys are over, and I switch it on. The gas I had left on, I switched it on, and I'm talking, and I go to open it, and just not even paying attention. Obviously, gas was already coming out, and it had filled up in there. Hit the button, not paying attention. I'm talking. I had my buddy to the right of me, talking to my buddy Scott. He's grabbing a beer out of the fridge in the garage, and I pushed the button, and poof. I mean, yeah, it was loud. Dogs were barking in the neighborhood. Wife comes out. My mom was here. She comes out. My eyelashes are singed completely.
Oh no.
My arm hair all the way up, halfway up my arm, singed to nothing, just nothing. I got a little.
You kept the beard, you kept the eyebrows. So
yeah, it didn't.
You got lucky there.
It was just both of these, but yeah, that's how my race started. And word for word, I went inside, and my wife, she wasn't happy. She said, "If I would have lost you to a damn barbecue, I would have killed you." And
especially on race day too,
I said, I'm not even mad at that.
On race day.
If I had to, after getting all this set up and the race just starts, and if I had to go into the ER and miss the race because of that, I would have been pissed.
Yeah.
But then I was thinking back, and I wouldn't miss much. Just in Larson, domination.
No, I could have filled you in. I could have filled you in on that one.
It would have been an easy fill-in. So, I mean, yeah, it was a good day. It was.
So, question for you before we get into stage 1. Are races like that good for NASCAR?
I don't think so. I'm glad you brought that up. We forgot to talk about that. Remember we brought up F1 with the red flags and just how
we got our third red flag of the season in 3 races, but that's a whole nother story.
Did you see the first F1 race?
No.
Did you? Max Verstappen, yeah, won the race by 22 seconds.
That's crazy.
And they said, at what point does it become a problem? F1 fans, you want to be into it. If you turn on a race and I was reading all the way down, everything is second, third, and fourth. Oh, look at the racing going on for second, third, and fourth. I mean, at what point is that? That's not fun. So they may have an issue there. And I think NASCAR, that's why they changed the Atlanta race. That's why they're trying to change these things. And they tried to go to stages because a car was just dominating. And if there was a caution, that car's going to pit. They're going to come back out in front. So these stages, they tried to maybe get people to pit and now you have to start back a little bit farther, or if you want the stage points, now you're going to have to pit and go to the back. You know what I mean? So they're trying things, but it's hard when I don't think it's great. I mean, it's still, if you're a fan of NASCAR, you're going to watch. We turn the race on no matter what. You find someone, it's easy when you're a Larson fan. Shit, every Larson fan in America was sitting there. Oh, this is great. I love this racing. You know what I mean? So but to the average fan and to someone that wants to get into it, I don't think it's good. I don't know what you're supposed to do though. He's great there. What are you supposed to do?
You know, when you're playing within the rules, like think about the Warriors. When the Warriors had their run, they weren't breaking any rules. No. They were just kicking your ass.
Better than you. They were just better.
So when you got the best top 3 driver in the sport with a top 2 car at a track that he cuts up.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just get beat.
And exactly. And it's expected. And I mean, I can't even think that you're asking about, is it good for NASCAR? Is it good for the fans? I mean, imagine being another driver. I mean, you saw Tyler Reddick's face at the end of that race.
He said, I couldn't do anything else. He said, I did everything I could.
He wasn't not even that he lost the race. He was like, this isn't like, he's probably thinking it was horrible. Like I couldn't catch him. And anytime he got close, Larson cut off his air, went back up high. He changed every which way. And, we'll get into it. Bubba, he had Bubba's help and he couldn't, catch him. So it was fun. It's a Sunday. You get to have some brews, some drinks, whatever you want. So let's get into
Viva Las Larson, Joey.
I know.
He owns Vegas. He owns it.
At this point, he does.
Cool.
He does.
So we're gonna get into stage 1 coming up, and we're gonna break down the race coming up.
Let's do
next.
It. Stage 1. We know the intensity builds up. Through the grass.
Wow! What a run! Blaney gets to win stage 1.
Stage 1, Joey. We are here. We need an IT guy really badly. We bought these microphones so that we wouldn't have to record together because Joey lives in the boonies, and not really though. And so,
but out here,
my mic, we out here. My microphone wasn't working for.
It wasn't even connected. I said,
no. Joey goes, it doesn't sound as
connected.
Yeah, and
he looked, and it wasn't.
No, but what are you gonna do? That's the cost of doing business. That's the cost of doing business, Joey.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to Vegas, baby.
Viva Las Larson.
Let's go.
No,
what a race. What a beatdown. Yeah. All right, let's get into it, Joey. We had our 3rd red flag of the year. I think I told you I've seen it all now. I've seen welding during a NASCAR race.
Primetime TV. How much was he making?
Oh my gosh. Probably not union, probably right to work, but that guy can go home and tell his family that he was laying some welds down on turn 2,
Hey boy, I was on TV. If you see me, you know what I mean? I was thinking that
you laying there?
I was literally watching the officials out there, and I thought, I like what I do. I like my job. I like doing what I do, but how do you become a NASCAR official? God, that would be fun. I don't know. I
thought about that too.
Do they travel from track to track, or does each track have their own They have to be all employed by NASCAR, so they know the same rules. But like, you get to travel and you get to go to every race and see that live, and piss someone off here and there. Kyle Busch got a penalty. He was this far over the line.
Dude, he barely slid over the line. That hurt.
Yeah, but like, imagine that job. I mean, even if they paid you $50,000 a year, I mean, that seems worth it. You get to be on there and hold on, let me just watch this guy weld. I'm the official in the back, and I get to watch him do this, and I'm on like, that would be fun.
It gives you an appreciation for the pit guys too, because those officials are hawking them. They're staring right at them, dude. It's like, if you're over that line, or if this tire rolls away, you're done.
It's like me, having a painting business and going to homeowners, and I was actually just joking with this with my father-in-law. I think last week we were having dinner, and this person that we had dealt with before, kind of wanting to help, and it's like, what? We gave you a bid. This is the bid. this is for us to do the job. You can't help. And then
I'm guilty of that.
The sign that says, "Huh."
I'm guilty of that too, though.
Yeah, but it says if you want to help, or if you want to watch, $150 extra. If you want to help, $1,000 extra or whatever. And it's like, dude, those guys are over their backs. I mean, like, they're right there. I mean, they're watching every little thing, and it'd be a cool job, though.
It would be. Maybe when we get old, we'll be officials.
Yeah,
we'll just it'll be like our retirement job. That'd be cool. But back to the race where all the action really happens. We had an interesting stage one. I think we talked about this briefly. We had a bunch of cautions. They used 3 sets of tires in stage one. They only get 9 sets. So use 3 sets right away. We were talking about whether or not they'd be running out. Didn't end up biting them. I think Bell had an issue. Was it Buescher that lost a tire? Who lost a tire?
Buescher lost a tire, and he got bad damaged. He's the one that created the welding job.
He created the welding thing. So that was Buescher.
I took Bell the pick, and he went out quick, blew the tire. They tried to have him limp around, and he came back. He was fast.
Yeah, he did. He was back in the top 10, I think.
The also person that I think that when I was listening on, they said he had only ran 3 laps in 2 races, and that was Dylan.
Dylan, your boy.
2 laps or 3 laps in 2 races. I mean, you show up to the racetrack juiced. You're ready to race. 3 laps in 2 races, and he was fast. He was up there fast.
Dylan had a good car for sure.
Chevy was good.
I think Busch had a good car.
Chevy.
Yeah. Gragson, Noah.
Oh, he was hometown kid, and he was fast.
He had a good car.
He impressed me. Hosafar has really impressed me. I think he's going to be a good driver, definitely. And I'm not saying, being stuck on a 77 team, or would he be better on a different team, but he's showed some good stuff. I mean, I hate to talk, bad, but he could take Bowman's spot and let's see what happens.
Oh man. Well, you're saving Bowman's spot for what's his name from the truck series.
Oh, Raja Karuth. Hey, if you're listening, or if you watch, you're my guy, baby. The 71. I just pre-ordered your.
Joey's a big Caruth guy.
Hey, I just pre-ordered his diecast car. So, hey, can you tell him to speed that up? It says like 3 months until we get that. Come on, you're in the spotlight right now. People want that. So
at the end of stage one, if I remember correctly, Reddick almost caught Larson. I think Larson was leaking.
Yes,
Larson was leaking oil a little bit, and Reddick was. If they would have had one more lap, I think Reddick would have caught him.
Just like at the end of the race. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so that was the long run speed from the Toyotas.
Yeah, besides Byron, I think the only person that truly had a shot was Reddick.
The 45, yeah.
Yeah, the 45. And
Byron had that
person,
cool... Yeah, so go ahead.
Yeah. No, you're fine. The only person that had it worse was like Bubba, We're seeing these issues.
Oh, we'll get to Bubba, yeah.
Yeah, we're seeing these issues, so...
Yeah, but Byron had that cool move that we talked about in the intro, where he went from 8th to 1st. You don't see that.
Yeah.
You don't see that every day in one lap.
No, he was having fun.
Larson I think Larson got caught up, and Byron went to the outside. If you haven't seen the clip, and then he drops down 2 lanes below the apron,
and passes 2 or 3 cars.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
I mean, that's textbook. And then there was a yellow like right after that, which kind of screwed him a little bit. Yeah, and then we talked about Byron with the trash bag.
Yeah,
which screwed him again. Luck. No, but if you're Byron, I mean, what do you take away from Vegas? Hey, I was fast, but
Yeah, no, he knows he can compete. He knows he can compete with Larson. I think he truly does now after winning the Daytona. Yeah. Last year he had some wins.
He had 5 wins last year, right?
That's what and so I don't know. I would love to be a fly on the wall in the Hendrick team meetings on Monday.
Got to be awkward for some. Awkward for some, good for others.
You have Bowman and Larson, or Bowman and Chase, that are they're sitting there, Monday morning. They're the kids that they have their hood on. They have their hood on.
Yeah.
They kind of draw, the drawstrings a little tight because they don't want people looking from this way or that way, and they're quiet. And then you got Larson over here, and he's the kid that he sat front row, baby, and I think Byron's joined him in the front row. Like,
Yep.
yeah, we're here, baby. Come on.
And as a Chase fan, that's got to hurt you a little bit.
Oh, it's killing me. It's killing me. It's truly killing me. I don't
want to get too deep into Chase because we got a long road ahead of us, Joe. But he's going to need to win a race or two this year to get the monkey off his back. He's going to need to. He's going to need to be road course, king.
But and yeah, I don't want to get too far into it too, but I texted you. With this car, it's impossible. Before they went to NextGen and before they've changed these cars, he was dominating.
Yep.
He was dominating the road course. He was Jeff Gordon in his prime, and he was Tony Stewart in a prime. I mean, he was the new road course king, and he has to feel some sort of way. And he wins in 2020, wins the championship. They bring in Larson. Larson wins the championship, and he hasn't been the same. You get hurt, you lose, this, that.
Kind of ever since Larson wrecked him. Remember Larson wrecked him in where were they?
The road course where he just drove straight into the corner.
Well, he did wreck him there too. Remember when they were
which one?
I know.
Which one? And Chase came on in the interview.
Wrecked him a couple times. Yeah, remember how mad he was?
He came in the interview because I knew he would do that. I knew he would do that. And like I said, let's I wonder if they allow like tickets to like just like sit and like when there's surgery and they have the observation. It brings me back to like the Junior Mints, Kramer.
Junior Mint. I was just gonna say Seinfeld.
Like, can we just watch what goes on in those meetings?
Yeah,
it's just because you had the big dog, and I'm not saying Chase. He was still young, but he's not the veteran, but he's still the big dog of Hendrick before Larson shows up. He got everything. Bowman and Byron were slow compared to him. So it's
the turntables have turned, Joey.
It's interesting. And Chase he's a fan favorite. So he brings them money.
Poster boy.
He's the poster boy. Larson's winning the races. And Byron has become winning the races. So Hendrick's not mad.
No.
They're not mad at all. They want more from Bowman, but they're not mad. And
I was gonna tell this story for Phoenix, but I was watching the end of the NASCAR Netflix series, and Blaney's doing burnouts, and funny, I'll tell you the Chastain story because Chastain was doing burnouts too. But Blaney's
yes,
in the championship, because he won the race.
He wasn't giving no shine to anybody.
We'll get into that, but Blaney's doing burnouts, and they cut to Gordon and Larson at the end. Larson's sitting on his car, and Gordon goes, "Hey man, I'm sorry we didn't have enough for you." And Larson goes, "We'll figure out what they're doing, and we'll beat them at it." But that's that Hendrick mentality,
Yep.
And it made me think, what's Chase? I mean, Chase, that was a wasted year for him.
Yeah,
last year because he broke his leg or whatever. But that Hendrick mentality of like, these dudes, your own two teammates are going to try to kick your ass every week.
Yeah. And it's not that they're just faster. They're unbelievably faster. Larson could go from, I'm just going off of Chase sitting in 8th, 9th, 10th. If that was Larson, he would have picked off 7, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Oh, he'd have drove up the pack. Yeah.
So what? And it doesn't make sense. We have these conversations all the time. These teammates, they're teammates. I know when you get on the road or you get on the course and you get on the track, you're still teammates. But why are these teams? Is it Chase or is it Bowman or the crew chiefs? Why aren't you taking that same setup? I'm not saying you copy it to a T, but why aren't you taking that same setup that you've been working on in the shop that week and you get it to kind of how Bowman likes the car or how Chase likes the car? That's fine. But what is so different that Bowman or Byron and Larson, if four of those cars would have raced just themselves, they would have been lapped by lap 10.
Well, it's funny. You hear
doesn't make sense.
You hear Boyer, and they say nobody drives a loose race car better than Larson.
100%.
So at some point, it is skill, right? Because they're going to make his car as bat fast as crazy, batshit crazy fast as they can.
100%.
And Larson's got to hold on to it because
exactly.
You look at their throttles into the corner, and Larson was at 100% throttle.
No, he does everything better than everybody else. I mean, and we can talk about it right now. There is not a better driver in the world right now. You could talk FF or F1 and whatever, but Larson, if you're going pound for pound, if you were going boxing pound for pound, there's nobody better than Larson.
He crushes intermediate courses or tracks. He crushes them all. Road courses, he's top 5 with Chase, with Reddick, and
100%.
the occasional dinger.
And the dinger.
Yeah, the occasional dinger. And then when you go to super speedways, he hasn't won. He won Talladega, but he hasn't won Daytona, and he hasn't won Atlanta, the new Atlanta. But
yeah,
he's always up there. You know?
It doesn't matter what it is. He's there. It doesn't matter if it's his eight dirt races during the week. I mean, what's his
dude? He qualifies and then he goes and runs 2 dirt races and then he goes back to the track.
I brought this up a little bit to you, but I'm if we get a little bit bigger, I'm going to his wife on Instagram or Twitter or whatever it is, which she's a badass.
With respect.
What?
You're gonna DM his wife with respect.
With respect, and say you are a badass. You did do shotgun beers with him. My wife is in love with her after she shotgunned the beers after he won his championship. She wants to hang out with her. But come on, make the guy a family man. He doesn't need to race 12 races a week.
He does.
Spend some time with the kids.
He does. He needs it.
No, spend some time with the kids. No, give some to the other people. I mean, go over there and say, Chase, I know you've had a tough week. I know you're having tough weeks. You know what? Hey, this is the secret right here.
He's not giving him the sauce, dude.
Come on. But if I'm his wife, I'm getting pissed off. Pissed off.
Those checks keep coming in on the first and they're fat, Joey.
Yeah. Man.
I don't know what he makes, but it's gotta be good.
Yeah. I mean,
do you know how the bonuses work when they win races?
I don't know any of that kind of stuff,
but I know that up.
I know he's taking $100,000 from these guys that are racing dirt. They're not happy.
No.
Why is Larson coming in and racing my week? No.
But you know what? Those guys are probably also thinking, yeah, I'm racing Kyle Larson. I'll tell my kids about that. And the stands are packed. Would they be as packed if it was, John Smith racing the dirt race in Podunk?
No, not
at all. As I mean, I'm sure people love their dirt racing, and if there was a dirt track around here, I'd be there. But people want to see Larson,
Yeah, and he draws, and as long as he's drawing and he's there, you think these dirt races and these tracks are going to be like, sorry, Larson. And hey, guys, I know you guys are upset, so we're gonna keep Larson out of this race. It's like, hell no. And it's fun to see if you're a Larson fan. I mean, it's heaven on earth. I mean, you're watching something, and I don't want to. He's not to the Jeff Gordons and Jimmy Johnsons, obviously Earnhardt and Petty.
But you even look at
but
you look at like Denny, like how many wins Denny has.
Yeah,
Denny's got like 58 wins. And I think Larson's got like 29.
28 or 29. And I think Kyle Busch is lead active right now. But he's
got a long ways to go.
And that's what's crazy is how dominant he's been. It makes you really put into perspective of Gordon 90 plus wins and 4 championships and Jimmy 7. I don't think that is possible nowadays with how the car is. And that could
we could kind of go back to the intro here because we were talking about, is it good for the sport? But look at where the sport's been. Like, imagine if it was Gordon today, or imagine if it was Jimmy Johnson. You actually have more people with a shot to win than you ever have.
You make a good point. How fun is it it's kind of like Alabama football. You win 4 out of 6, 5 out of 7 championships. At what point Jimmy Johnson winning 7, 4 in a row, 3 in a row, whatever it was. At what point, you're kind of right. But does it make for a better race? The guys aren't happy with how the car is. We've heard it from Kyle Busch has been huge on saying how he hates it. Harvick hated it. You can't do anything. So is it too close? Or is it, I sent you that video today where was it Cliff Daniels?
Yeah.
Cliff Daniels was saying how good they were, how freaking amazing they were, and they had Reddick on their ass crossing the finish line. I mean, and he said how tough it's going to be to continue to put wins together. And we talked about it. What
we talked about that earlier in the week, though. When
three wins,
I said is anybody going to win more than 3 races this year? And you said absolutely.
I said absolutely.
You said Larson and Byron were first people that came to mind, and Hamlin, because Hamlin on the
dominate.
Hamilton dominates the back half of the series.
You get the Poconos and you get the Richmonds and you get the you get all the the
God, he
tracks.
crushes those. Yeah.
Exactly. So
Martinsville.
But that's 3 guys. They're I don't know. Is the car too close? Back in the day, if you were a really good driver, it showed. I don't know if we have that same thing today.
What I do appreciate about these cars, though, is that they're tough, and I think that was kind of
they're hard.
The shell is harder, and the engine all filters through the bottom, so it has really nothing to do with the cab, which is safer for the drivers. They don't, except for Priest, they don't flip over.
Yeah. So recently, you're right. Yeah, because we had one in Daytona.
The Gen 7 car, I think it has its advantages, but a couple years ago with Chase and Larson, 2020, 2021, those Gen 6 cars, Hendrick
could race.
Oh, dude, Hendrick, they just kicked ass.
They
had the
race.
best. Yeah.
And so did Hamlin. There was you had your select few where Vegas didn't like it. I mean, we were able to put money. You were able to pick Larson. You made your rent every month on a bet on Larson. Every month. Your mortgage.
He won like 10 races in 2021.
You know what I mean? You were
insane.
able to pick Hamlin, Larson that year, Harvick. You were able because, and I'm not saying they're cheating. I was saying that the better skill and the experience and everything that goes into it, you were able to win. Mm-hmm. Gordon back in the day. I mean, that's what I grew up on. He was so dominant. He was such a good driver. And now I don't know if, like Earnhardt bringing up that stat, 262 out of 312. We don't see that very often, but we see it from Larson. And you're still hearing his crew chief and you're still hearing him. This is going to be tough. I mean, I still had someone on my ass. If that was 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, he's winning by 4 or 5 seconds.
So gentleman's bet right now. We'll say $20. I'm going to say nobody wins more than 3 regular season races. I'm going to say nobody does.
It's easy.
You're taking it.
Larson.
You're taking it.
Easy. 100%. Easy. Larson will do it. Hamlin will do it. I don't know. God, Hamlin's been
Byron. He's already got one. Already.
Yeah.
I think Byron would be the one I'm most worried about. But Larson will get dumped. People will start dumping Larson here a little bit. They'll start bullying him again.
They got to be pissed off. I mean, I know I would be. I mean, we go to what is it, Boomers, and I'm not letting anybody buy me, and that's Boomers. Hey, no spinning people. I remember getting taken out by you a couple years ago. Hey, you guys are put to the side right now.
Yeah, may or may not have happened.
Yeah. Whoops. But
all right, Joey.
Sorry, we got
race,
off stage.
Good race in Vegas. Yeah, we did. Well, it was it was a bit of a snoozer, but at the same time, Reddick made it interesting. Really quick with Bubba. Bubba was like 3 laps down, and then remember he was pushing Reddick.
Yeah, he was trying.
Good
teammate. His car was still okay. He just had the bad luck with the wheel, and he was pushing him. He was pushing him and pushing and pushing, and he got him up there.
Like half a second. He got it back within half a second. And then Bubba had a chance to block Larson when Larson was going to lap him.
And he let him go. I was very impressed with that.
Yeah, maturity from Bubba. Because he could have really screwed Larson.
Word for word, while I was watching it, I said, "There's no way in hell. I'm at least putting it to him for a second, slowing him down, taking in the dirty air real quick. Yeah. Giving him that, and then moving.
Sit in his lane, yeah. And he went down, and Larson went right around him.
Yeah, no, it was I was shocked. So, besides that, I mean, what are you gonna say? Larson dominated. I mean, it was pure domination. His crew helped out. They did everything right. Everything was to a T. They put on a clinic.
They did, Joe. And speaking of clinics, we're going to have a interesting race coming up in Phoenix next week. and
We are.
the weather's going to be 82 degrees
Hey,
and no rain, baby.
no rain, baby.
All right, let's
Cheers.
talk about Phoenix. Stage 2 coming up next.
Haley pushes him. Elliott's going to win stage 2.
Nice work.
Joey, we're back. Stage 2. On to Phoenix.
2.
What are you thinking about Phoenix this week, Joe?
I like the track. I like Phoenix. I like kind of the dive down into turn 1, and I like that. I like that Chase has won there. He did win his championship there.
Yeah.
So I enjoy that. I truly, it's kind of, we discussed a little bit. I think, not to give my picks away yet, but I truly think Blaney, he won it there last year, won the championship. Chastain didn't give him the flowers to let him go. But I truthfully think that's sour with him still. He's still, when he arrives there, when they're there this week, he's thinking about that. Him and Chastain, I think, are going to have a battle. I'm going to, I truly believe, and that's the whole Chevy thing. Is Chevy going to dominate again? I truthfully believe they will. But I like the track. And I think it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be better than Vegas, but there's a lot more moving around.
Yeah. So I think I mentioned maybe previously on a different pod, but I went to the championship. I think I mentioned on the first pod that I went to the championship in Phoenix last year. It was kind of a spur of the moment thing. Tickets I thought would be cheaper. They were more expensive, but it was all good. And I expected to see Larson win the championship. And Blaney, well, to start off, Byron got the pole, and Byron had tons of speed in stage 1. Nobody could catch him. And as the race kind of kept going, you started to see that 12 car, the yellow 12. And Blaney had so much freaking speed last year. It was crazy. And it's an interesting track because it's a tri-oval, right? But it's only a mile long. So it's an intermediate track, but it's not as long as a Vegas, or they get around pretty quick. And what's funny is that Larson I don't think he had much grip, or I don't know if he was tight through, but Larson was hugging the bottom of the racetrack. And there's certain points in Phoenix where you can get away with that. But when you go through that kind of part of the tri-oval, kind of where the start-finish line is, you get a ton of speed. And Blaney would just be flying. Like Larson would picture it. Larson would be air blocking. Larson would be air blocking. And that's why, we'll get into our picks, but I think Chastain, who won this race last year, is a good air blocker, and it pissed Blaney off so much. Because Chastain's like, I'm just gonna whatever line I'm gonna drive out of my rearview mirror, and I'm gonna take whatever line you want.
And I think I sent you that last night. I think Blaney and Chastain are already starting the beef early this week. When Blaney or Chastain made a comment about him, how I'm pretty impressed. Like, oh, it's good to see Blaney getting better at the blocking or whatever. And Blaney tweeted back and said blah 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 blah, and that's going to be fun. And I do think they're going to battle it out. I don't think Larson, I still think Larson's going to be right there. And it may be a Larson sitting back and Chastain, Blaney kind of race each other, take each other out, or race each other so hard that Larson comes in. And Byron's going to be super quick. So I don't want to say that it's just those 4 drivers, because obviously anything can happen, and you never know. But
you know what? Look, Ford's going to have a lot of speed there, because if you remember last year in the championship, it was Harvick's last race.
Yeah.
And Harvick had tons of speed. He was up in the top 5 the whole time. So I'm not going to say Josh Berry's going to replicate Harvick's performance, but maybe Logano. Maybe Logano brings a race car.
Logano has to.
Cindric's been okay this year.
Cindric's been great. Brad's been a little underwhelming. He's been okay. Buscher's, I don't know what's going on with Buscher. I thought after last year, I thought that confidence in that team was going to.
You have 2 or 3 wins last year? 2?
Yeah. And then
I think it was 2.
Yeah, it might be. But I don't know. It's been weird. But yeah, I definitely think I definitely think it's going to be a Chevy Ford. But then Toyota's going to come out, you got the top two, definitely, I think Ford, Chevy with those two guys. But Larson and Byron are going to be right there, and you're going to get the Logano's, and you're going to get,
Chastain,
and I don't know. It's tough. We finally got the first pick with Larson winning. We've been so close.
I know. Glad it was me.
We'll see.
But back to Phoenix, Joey. The track's going to be hot. It's going to be slick.
That's what you said. 86, 86 outside.
Yeah, it's going to be like mid 80s. So the track temperature is going to be. It's going to be about 100 degrees.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, so we'll see where it's sitting.
And then with the 12 o'clock start, when I was at the championship, I think it started at 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So by the end of the race, there was a lot of shadows on the track.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it'll be dark by 4 o'clock in Arizona, at least where that track is situated. Maybe a little bit, but I think the track's going to be slick and hot. And if you remember, the track it doesn't have a ton of banking. It's kind of a flatter track.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really interested to see what adjustments, because I kind of mentioned this in the last stage, that Hendrick said, we'll figure out what they did and we'll beat them at it. So exactly. I'm interested to see, because they're going to run all the data on Blaney's car. They're going to know exactly what Blaney did. So
yeah.
Does a William Byron have a good? Does Chase come back from the dead this week?
Exactly, and that's where I see. And this is what's hard. We're NASCAR fans, right?
Yeah.
Will the race necessarily be good in the eyes of someone that's just watching? It may not be, but when you think about the things we just talked about, what these guys are doing behind the scenes and who wants to beat who, and you're seeing there's gonna be stuff going on that just a blind eye that, if this person was over watching, you're not gonna see that. You're not gonna know, like, oh, this guy, like, look, Blaney, oh yeah, we see what he's doing right here. We see Larson, he lost last year. He doesn't take losing lightly. He is going to be doing everything possible this week, even though it's the only four races.
Yeah, this will be the 4th race, but similar to what we talked about with Hamlin. Hamlin dominates the back half of the schedule. Larson usually dominates the first half of the schedule.
Yes.
So this is, if you look at, if you ask those 4 drivers, or at least 3, Blaney, Larson, and Byron, they all expect to win this race.
Yes.
On Sunday.
Yes. 100%. Excuse me. 100%. And that's the thing is there's so much going on in the race that it's still exciting, because you're trying to figure out, and that these guys want to win. And you have, I'm not going to say there's only 4 or 5 of them, but you have 33 other cars out there that are in your way. So it's interesting. We literally sit there and we watch and we say, this person, and we're not analysts. We're not journalists. We don't do this this is fun for us, but you still can sit there and see that this is interesting.
Yeah.
So
a couple of the previous winners, Joe, 2022, going back to 2022, Chase Briscoe.
Yes.
In the Ford.
Yeah.
Larson in 2021, Truex 2021, Chase in 2020 won the championship there.
And then
Logano won in March of 2020.
That's what I thought.
We got Denny won in November of 19. Kyle Busch has won a few times. Harvick's won there, and then we get back.
But it's been pretty much
older days.
I think it's been pretty much Chevy Ford in the last to 2020. I think you mentioned a couple Fords, Briscoe and Logano.
Just would be Denny and back when Kyle Busch, was on Joe Gibbs.
Oh, when he was Joe Gibbs, so he was Toyota. Yeah. So yeah, I think it'll be fun. I'm intrigued. I love it. I'm ready. I think, as I always say, Vegas was fun. On to Phoenix. Let's do it. Another race in the desert.
Yeah, looking forward to it, Joe. And also looking forward to our picks. Stage 3 coming up next.
I'm a believer. They're in it for the long haul.
Let's go! Yeah! All right!
Woo, woo, woo! Stage 3, Joey. Time for picks.
Yep.
Time for picks.
You were good last week. I think you picked Chevy and Larson. So
clean sweep, Joe. Clean sweep.
Clean sweep, just like Larson at
at Vegas the last 2 years.
It's so hard to even keep a straight face when we go to talk about Larson. Like, I'm tempted to go buy a Larson. No, I'm kidding. I couldn't do that.
Nah, you got the 9 on your head right now.
I do. So,
for those of you following on YouTube, you can see Joey's Chase hat.
Yeah, we are. It's going to be on. We're going to put this up on YouTube with the bloopers of Shane coming out with the mic. It's not even on. The next one, he situates it and it's on there. So yeah, go to there. It'll be same thing at Fuel Only Podcast on YouTube. You can kind of get a face to everything that's going on, and
it takes a village, Joe. It takes a village.
Yeah. So definitely, you were big last week. I mean, not hard to do when
made a couple bucks. Did okay. But what are you gonna do? The 5 car just kicked ass, took names.
Yeah. So what? So what are you gonna do this week? You get to pick. You want to go with your picks first or your manufacturer?
Yeah. Well, manufacturer, I'm gonna go Chevy because
and you're gonna
why
go
not?
Larson
They've won every race so far.
And are you gonna go with Larson with both your picks?
Yeah. Both picks Larson. No, I don't want to fanboy out too hard. So I'm gonna bet against my heart this week, Joe. And for my first pick, odds courtesy of Odd Shopper, whatever the hell that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I'm gonna take William. I'm gonna take William. Yeah, Odd Shopper. If you want to be a sponsor on the pod, let us know. William Byron, 7.5 to 1. Joey, plus 750.
I like that. I mean, dude. This whole week he didn't throw anything in the trash. He didn't look at a trash bag. So,
oh my gosh.
When
the garbage truck came, Joey, he wasn't there.
No, he's not even looking at garbage this week. So that's a good pick, and that's an easy pick. It's like picking Larson again. But
kind of, but with the way Byron ran last year in the championship, that was his race to lose. He just got caught. Blaney was just
and they've obviously found something. And Larson needs to look out, because I'm not going to say he's not the driver that Larson is, but he's still damn good. And if he has that team, and he has the Hendrick behind him, obviously they found something. So I think that's a good pick. With my first pick, I kind of hinted to it in, I don't know, 10 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago. Blaney. The dude was lights out last year. Ross Chastain pissed him off, took a little bit of his thunder for 2 seconds while he's trying to burn out, and he's burning out, and he's got to go down the backstretch because Chastain's in the freaking finish line. So,
oh man, that was great.
Yeah. So I think Blaney, and I think Blaney was 7 to 1. So just Larson and Blaney, very close.
I think that's good value, 7 to 1 if you can get it. I don't think it'll be by the time the race starts on Sunday. I think Larson will be 3 to 1, 4 to 1. Blaney will be 4.5 to 1.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's a good pick, and he's going to have a fast race car. If he brings the same setup he brought in the championship,
they will.
They will. Look out. For my second pick, Joe, I kicked around some people here, but I am going to land on Ross Chastain.
I like
Why
that.
not? Why not? I'm sticking with Chevy.
8.5 to 1.
8.5 to 1. I think, obviously qualifying will be important at this track, and we'll see where these guys shake out because that'll affect their odds.
Mm-hmm.
But, I think Blaney qualified like 12th or 10th in the championship last year.
Yes, he wasn't up in the front.
He wasn't up front, no.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how that shakes out. But I'm going to take Ross Chastain just to piss everybody off.
Yeah, and that's
air block. And
and to screw with my pick. You're screwing with my pick because they're gonna. I hope they qualify both in the top 10. I hope they start close to each other. Because after you make comments about someone, if we were to play, anything, and I was making comments to you, you're thinking about it. So it's not, you put things in the back of your head that happened last year, whatever. But those just, it's gonna be right here. So, but hey, there was a guy last week. I was impressed with him. 16 to 1 is Gibbs, and he was good. He had a fast car.
Remember Truex and him getting into it?
Yeah, and
his teammate, right?
Yeah, and Gibbs saying, "That's it. I'm not racing him clean anymore." And I saw something from there, and he's been quiet. Gibbs has been very quiet. If anybody followed Gibbs in Xfinity, It wasn't
Dude was
pretty.
a dude. Yeah,
yeah, we could use. We're not going to use the word on here. Him and Gragson, had some beef, and he wasn't a nice racer. He knew he had the Gibbs name. He knew he could do whatever he wanted.
and a fast car. He always had a fast car
every week, and he could do whatever he wanted. He wasn't going to apologize.
No.
He's gotten to the Cup, and he's been very, very nice. You could say nice. I mean,
yeah, you don't want to be that kid who shows up and tries to punk all the veterans. So I think he played it cool.
No,
but
he's been smart.
His true personality is starting to come out.
Yes, but
he's got a little red ass to him,
No, he's been nice is the nicest way to even put it. And I think that that's going to slowly, as this season goes on, it's going to slowly fade. And I mean, 16-1 for a guy last week, and you're not, like we talked about, it's not the same setup, not the same exact track. But if he has that speed and they found something, maybe, because he was up there, he was top 10, he was fast. So I'm just kind of going the value. I'd probably pick someone a little bit higher that has more of a chance, like the top 5 that we talked about. But with 16-1 for a guy that he looks sharp, so we'll see. That's very good value. That may go up or down. If he qualifies in the top 10, or if he qualifies good, that's going to definitely go down. Maybe into the single digits. So we'll see.
Yeah, I like that pick. So you're going manufacturer
Blaney.
Ford. You're leaning Ford, right?
Oh yeah. Because I took a Ford and a Toyota.
So you got a decision to make.
I'm going to go Ford.
Okay.
There's a lot of bigger names that I think can win it. Nothing against. I'm counting out Hamlin. I've picked Hamlin now to win. I put money on Hamlin, and he's just not. He's not done it. So I'm going to go Ford.
Cool. So I'm with Chevy. Joey's with Ford. We appreciate.
And we
you guys
have
listening.
What was our bet? Oh, 3 wins. So hopefully, what I'm hoping is Blaney or Larson
or Byron
get a win.
Yeah,
they get a win.
Then that'll be good.
Yeah,
and it's regular season only. Regular season only.
Okay,
no playoffs.
Okay, so regular season only. So
got to get more
races.
than 3. Got to get more than 3 wins. So
okay, that's tough. Cool. Yeah, that's tough. You'll owe me a drink.
Yeah.
Kirkland.
So we went a little long. We went a little long with the pod today, but
we did.
We when there's a blowout like this, Joe, sometimes you got to just shoot the crap.
Yeah, I mean, when there's a blowout, I mean, the announcers have to come up with something to talk about, and it's nice. You watch I mean, the Warriors lost by 52 the other week, and I mean, what are this guy supposed to talk about? What you're on the sideline, or it's on national TV, and you're like, all right, well, Shane, what are we talking about here? Well, that was a great shot by Czech's roster. Yeah, who is this
guy? Insert player from G League.
Yeah. So no, it was fun. I'm glad we got to talk, and I'm glad our faces are here on YouTube, and we want to kind of try to do this, and it's fun to watch, and I'm hoping we'll be able to live stream a race soon here. We're gonna have to kind of talk about what race would be kind of exciting. And we'll pick one.
Maybe Pocono down the road.
Maybe Pocono, and then I would like to. I'm your house or mine. It doesn't matter. I think Atlanta, week 1 of the playoffs. We have.
Ooh, to. Joey. They said that the Atlanta got so many calls for tickets. I mean, could you imagine what the price is going to be to go to that race?
Yeah, if we can't be there, we got to be together. So
I'll figure out this mic situation. We'll get
guys. Can someone? Is there anybody that's an IT guy?
We need one on the payroll, Joe.
A pro bono.
Yeah, we have nothing to provide, but can you help? So
we'll give you a shout out. But hell of a week. On
to Phoenix, Joe. Vegas was fun.
Can't wait for qualifying. And let's see what happens.
And Byron racing Xfinity. So if you want to watch Xfinity,
Byron is 3-1. Yeah, actually, Byron 3-1 in Xfinity, and John Hunter's racing. So those are the 2 big dogs in Vegas right now. And then Allgaier. Allgaier, I think I don't know why he hasn't come up. Yeah, he needs to come up to Cup.
I wonder, is it because he's older?
I don't know. I wonder. Maybe we'll try and hit him up. I'll go on.
Maybe on the next pod we'll figure that one out.
I'll have to try and contact him and see what's going on. And Hill. I mean, we didn't even mention that Hill won 3 in a row, or was it 3 in a row?
Did he win? No, he didn't win.
No. It wasn't. But last year he had won 3 in a row. So last year I didn't know that he had won 3 in a row to start the season. and he had done 2 for 2 this year. So I'm gonna hit up them. But yeah, there's no spots available yet. If you look at what's going on,
we need some of the older drivers to retire, but not necessarily good for the sport. Like we want the Kyle Bushes and the Denny's and the Truexes. We want them to run as long as they can and as long as they're competitive.
Yeah, I mean, if Hamlin and Bush and Larson decided to retire next year, give Chase a, let
Could
him
you
be the
imagine
pretty boy.
Larson wouldn't know what to do with himself sitting on the couch.
Oh man! All right, well, that was fun. On
to Phoenix, Joe.
Drink responsibly.
God bless America. Thanks for listening.